One of my favorite books that I read last year was Brian Greene's The Elegant Universe, Superstrings, Hidden Dimensions, and The Quest for the Ultimate Theory. And I think you can see how much I loved it by how beat up it is. I carried this book absolutely everywhere when I was reading it. So for some background, Brian Greene is a math and physics professor at Columbia. That's him right there on the back. And what I liked most about this book was the way it builds up the concept of string theory from the ground up in a really understandable way. So the gist of string theory is that all matter in the universe, a table, your body, a star, is made up of atoms, and atoms, in turn, are made up of quarks and electrons. And according to string theory, quarks and electrons are just tiny loops of vibrating string. The book builds up the ideas of general relativity and quantum mechanics, why they contradict each other, and why string theory resolves those contradictions, making it a potential theory of everything. Now, I'm not a theoretical physicist by any stretch of the imagination, but I did study math in college, I took a couple of physics classes, so I'm vaguely familiar with some of the concepts that are mentioned in this book. But even without pre-existing knowledge of math and physics, I do think this would be a great book to read for anyone interested in finally getting what string theory is. It is pretty dense, though, even with my very, very limited understanding. There are parts that I had to reread a few times to really get. But Brian Greene does a masterful job of incorporating metaphors that are easier to visualize so that the ideas become a lot more intuitive. And on the other end of the spectrum, while it is really dense and has a lot of good info, it is not a replacement for formal learning. In order to make formal theories or conjectures about the universe, you gotta learn the math behind it. And I know that's really unpopular, everyone hates math, which makes me so sad, but you gotta embrace the equations. So I'd highly recommend this to anyone interested in learning what string theory is and sort of getting a better understanding of how our universe works. You may not come away from it with an honorary PhD in cosmology, but you'll understand why string theory is the front runner as a theory of everything.